Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. We are back at it again. Dropping that content for your ass. Craft Man in the building as always. What's going on, Craft Man?
Man, nothing much. Just sad the way the Super Bowl ended up being. Seahawks versus the Pats. Kind of didn't expect that, but football's almost over, and I'm ready to get into the rookies. I'm ready to get into this dynasty talk. So I'm excited about tonight. This is kind of like the kickoff for the off season a little bit.
Yeah, man. I was glad. I was personally glad when Bo Nix went down that it wasn't the Broncos and the Seahawks. I'm definitely pulling for Sam Darnold now, though. I want him to win. I want him to get paid. So he's been getting bounced around, and he's been winning. Vikings looking a little goofy. I mean, that's one thing, crap, man. If you're the Vikings, how can you now bring Sam Darnold back after 14-3? I know he had a bad playoff game, but it's just like, damn, man.
It looks crazy now, don't it? And then
Yeah, it really does.
Then Geno leaves. He leaves the Super Bowl team to go and get the first overall pick in the NFL draft. And at the beginning, I said maybe Geno and Sam Darnold were about tit for tat. But, man, I've never been so wrong in my life about the Seahawks. I could do 100 takes, and I could get 99 of them right, and it would equal out with how bad my Seahawks take was.
Man, we were totally out on JSN in the second round. JSN in the back of the second.
Crazy, man. Vegas – I was thinking about this today. The Vegas futures, they had, yardages up there and everything. And, looking at some of the things, it was like, yeah, there's no way. Like DK Metcalf's reception total was so low. I was like, he's definitely getting that. He only had like 56 receptions on the season. Yeah. That's crazy. Kenneth Gainwell had like 75 on that team. Who's the leading receiver on the Steelers. And then like JSN, I want to say his line was pretty high.
Yeah.
Going in and the Vegas odds, and we were kind of looking at that. And the Seahawks, I think they were like 8.5, 9.5 wins for Vegas, and we were like, nah,
yeah.
They ain't getting 8.5. And now look at them.
Yeah, I mean, dang. I just saw my little baby pop her head through the window, through the curtain. Yeah. Well, shoot, man. Tonight we talking about bets. Are we buying? Are we selling these guys? We're gonna put some. Basically, we'll put some price range on them, and we'll put some players' names to them. But like, I guess we're coming from the standpoint of if we're competing next year, are we taking on these vets? Would we go get them? Would we sell them? Type deal like that. Craftman, am I missing anything?
No, I think you got it. And even from an equal standpoint, like if you're kind of in between, like competing or rebuilding, just some trades that you could make that's just maybe just better for your team anyway, even if you are a competing team. Maybe it's time to get rid of a player a year early rather than hold on to them and then, them die on your team and you don't have any value after this year. Try to get something for them while you can. That's the way I like to roll anyway.
Yep. I will say this, though. Like, I know people – it's like they take it personal holding the bag. Like, sometimes you're just going to hold the bag, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really see no problem with it as long as you're going for it. But obviously you don't want to be left with nothing. But, all right, before me and Craftman go on, just share the show. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. We're on all platforms, and we rolling. We throwing out a lot of content right now in this little dead season. Like, the Super Bowl ain't even happened yet. Me and Craftman are in a drop. I don't even know. Probably close to 10 episodes or something like that with Brad and Ian too. So we've been putting it out there, doing our thing. So if you don't mind, share the show. Craftman, you want to add anything?
Nope, we're good on that.
All right, man, we're getting right to business then. And the first name we're going to bring up, Alvin Kamara. And this one was a name, obviously, we had to talk about because we just sold him ourselves in a league that me and you got him in. And
what do we get for that? I can't remember.
Man, I can't even remember. What's that young guy on the New England Patriots? He was the the main one.
Kyle
Oh
Williams,
no,
I guess.
Kyle Williams. I think we got Kyle Williams and a couple. Basically, he just threw at us a bunch of stuff, and we got Kyle Williams, and we got what else did we get? Chuba Hubbard. We got Chuba Hubbard,
Man, that's
Kyle
it,
Williams.
man.
Oh, and Jordan Mason. He gave us all three of them
That's
when we
crazy.
got rid of Kamara.
That's how you do it right there, Matt. That is how you do it.
That's how
I
you
like that
dynasty.
Chuba. I like Chuba, man, for the future. Rico's a free agent. I think we might have a starting running back on our hands, Matt.
Yeah, and we got Kyle Williams, and it's like the New England Patriots are ascending, so it's like we get us a little young piece right here that nobody's really thinking about. But he was the main name I was thinking about when I saw him pop up. And Alvin, like if I was me, I like to I was thinking about what could we sell Alvin for. It would be like pretty much a second. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't getting no first for Alvin. Like so, us taking a shot on these young guys, not really even taking a shot on them. You know what I'm saying? They're just kind of here, and we're just gonna see how it plays out. Jordan Mason, like he might be nothing. You know what I'm saying? But Chuba, he still got like 2 or 3 more years on his deal, and
Kamara's just got one, so
yeah,
he's got next year, and then he's a free agent, which I'd expect Kamara to probably retire after next year, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, well, is there any chance Kamara has a decent season next year with Shuck and?
There's a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how big that chance is and where you would project him to finish next year or where he's even going to go in redraft. He'd probably be kind of left for dead. He might be a decent pick next year in redraft if he's going in the, what would you think, 6th, 7th round, something like that probably?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you got to understand, what Kamara was banged up this year. And
always.
How do you even say his name? Tyler Shuck? Is that how you say his name? He really didn't look that bad. I'm just being honest. I think if everybody's being objective, you could say he looked okay. And Chris Olave had a good year. So it's like it wasn't just like, all-time bad in New Orleans. So I don't know. I could see it happening. But Kamara is just somebody in general I would like to get off. I mean, I was kind of saying we should get off of him a couple years ago. I know he played good football since then. Like, he's had some good years, even in his older days. But get off of him, man. Just get on off of him.
If you were going to get him, like, if you did want to try to compete for a year, I got a couple names here. I'm going to bring up, like, would you trade these guys for Alvin Kamara in Dynasty? Like, Kyle Manungai?
I would.
Trade it for Kamara?
No,
Tootin?
I would want.
You'd want Manungai?
Yeah, I would take those guys over Kamara.
Let's see. Let me find some more. What about like Charbonnet or Woody Marks, Tyrone Tracy?
Maybe Tracy, because I feel like Scatterbo, he might not really come back. I mean, I don't even know what they're even saying about Scatterbo. Ain't no way he's coming back opening day, correct? Like Tracy should be starting.
I would doubt it.
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
I would doubt it.
Tracy is interesting to me, for sure.
So you don't really want Kamara, but it'd have to be like bottom of the barrel. You'd have to trade
I mean, I think Kamara, he could possibly have a solid year, but I just ain't betting on it. I mean, doesn't seem plausible to me. I mean, it seems like it could happen, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm not really expecting much for him. I wanted him off my own team. You know what I'm saying? Needed him gone.
Might not even be worth the squeeze for next year, even if he plays all season. It might just be like a RB2, low end RB2 or RB3 that's not really even helping your team that much. Right. Watch him pop off, be like the RB3 on the season.
All right, then. Well, shoot, man. You want to slide on to David Montgomery?
That's a yucky name right there.
It is a yucky name right now. Let me look up David Montgomery real quick. He basically, I know he started off rough, and every now and then he would have one of those games where he could get into the end zone a couple times. But I mean, before this year started, we were saying I felt like Jahmyr Gibbs, it's time for him to get more run. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to David Montgomery, but I don't know. I just think that's what we were seeing. Gibbs. Plus, didn't they have another new offensive coordinator up there in Detroit again or something like that? But
yeah,
I don't know. It just things really just things didn't work out. I don't know. Some things just didn't work out as much for the Lions this year. You know what I'm saying? And David Montgomery was just one of them. I mean, everybody else was eating. Like Amon-Ra was eating. Jameson Williams was eating. Laporta had an okay year until he got hurt. So David Montgomery was just the odd man out. You know, everybody else was doing their thing. Amon-Ra, number 3 again. My favorite fantasy player of all time. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The most consistent player you could ever have.
I mean, seriously, man. I might just make a solo episode about that. But David Montgomery finished as the running back 27.
He might be gone.
Yeah.
He'd have to get traded. He's not a free agent, but there's a chance that a team would. Do you think there's a possibility that a team would make him the bell cow?
No, I do not.
Not a chance.
No, I just don't think so. But I mean, he wouldn't be a bad one if you could get him on the low. I would, if I could get David Montgomery for cheap, I'd trot him out there as my starting running back.
David Montgomery on the Kansas City Chiefs.
David Montgomery on the Dallas Cowboys.
Nah, Javon.
You don't like it?
They would stick with Javonte over there, man.
Shoot, I mean that's true. I mean, I don't know. David Montgomery. What? If you wanted to trade David Montgomery today, though, what can you get? Can you even get a second for Montgomery?
Because you can probably get a late second.
That's true, and this draft class is pretty weak. If that's everybody knows that you're playing dynasty with, then you can swing it. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
I would probably trade a late second for David Montgomery. Truthfully,
yeah. I think Montgomery has that hidden value too. Like if Jahmyr Gibbs ever goes down, it's like, damn, David Montgomery is that like the best handcuff there is. Maybe instead of it being like a roll, like a 1-2 punch like they were, maybe David Montgomery has just kind of moved into that. He's the best handcuff in fantasy football. You know,
yeah, he's
type of guy.
He's one of them, and I mean they didn't do any better this year playing Jahmyr Gibbs more, even though Gibbs is a lot better. But like you said, new offensive coordinator, they might come in and say we need to get Montgomery a little bit closer to that, you know, at least 40% of it, and you know let Gibbs rest a little more. So I think best case scenario for Montgomery, unless he just goes to somewhere great, like we said, like the Chiefs or something, or Dallas or whatever, the best case would probably just come back to Detroit and, you know, ride it out for one more year. I mean, RB27, that's a flex play every week. Are you going to get a flex play every week from your late second-round pick? Probably not, unless you just get super lucky in the draft, in the rookie draft. I think it could probably be worse.
Yeah. Well, all right, then let's just slide over to another one. James Conner. I got him on my squad. Look, man, here's the truth, man. I really wasn't expecting much from James Conner last year. And he's somebody that's, I mean, what's the deal with James Conner? I mean, I don't really know. I just feel like Trey Benson's going to that dude's got to take a step up at some point. So, and he played all right last year, except for he got hurt again. So, like, it feels like Trey Benson is his role to take over. James Conner, I mean, his value's never really been that good as far as, like, trading him wise, I feel like. Even though he always, I mean, he's had a bunch of good years, you know what I'm saying, when he was left for dead, when his value was low and stuff like this, like it is now. But at some point, it's got to end. And I think I just really wouldn't want no James Conner. I'd trade him if I could.
Dude, I don't think James Conner has much left. I had to fix your spelling, Matt. I had to fix your spelling on there.
Hey, you should
to that.
Last episode, I started watching that thing, and I was like, golly, I misspelled like 6 words. Talking about not even sentences. I'm misspelling words like crazy. But, yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, maybe not much to say about James Conner. He's left for dead.
I think so. Trey Benson over there, maybe he's a buy low candidate that you can go get, and he might have the starting job next year. James Conner could come back and start for the team, but what was his injury again? It was a bad one, right? Like ACL, or I remember it being a pretty rough knee injury or lower body injury really early in the year, like week 3.
Right.
You know, it could be something where he might be ready for next year, but He's an older running back that they're just gonna. I feel like he's just gonna be the second piece of that offense, like the second running back on that team. Like you know how Nick Chubb, it was about the same age where Nick Chubb went down, and he wasn't ever the same after that. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think me and you are kind of on the same page, and we don't have to, because this name right here, a little bit different. I feel like Rico Dowdle, because Rico Dowdle had a lot of success with the Carolina Panthers this year, but the Carolina Panthers are kind of just stuck in this, kind of stuck in their own way because they got Chuba Hubbard locked down. I'm pretty sure he signed a 4-year deal before last season, or it was probably like some kind of 3-year deal with something going on in the 4th year or whatever. But then you got the other guy coming back, the young guy. I can't even think of his name now. Jonathan
Brooks. Oh, Jonathan Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks.
I forgot about him.
He was him and Trey Benson
Stinky
were in that same
Milo.
class. Yeah, dude. So
Stinky Milo. I forgot about him completely.
And the thing about Brooks is I'm pretty sure he was a first-round draft pick, wasn't he? I mean, him and Trey Benson were both first-rounders that year, I thought.
First or second, early second. It was either first or early second round.
Well, either way, you got him coming back. He's a young guy, so he's on the team for 2 more years, and you got Chuba paid for. I'm not saying you broke the bank for Chuba, but you got him under contract. So it's like, what you gonna do with Rico Dowdle? You gonna keep all these running backs on your team? So it's like Rico Dowdle could go somewhere and still be good because, I mean, he looked pretty good last year. And I would like it better if he was with the Panthers, but I just don't know if that's going to take place or what's the deal with Rico Dowdle. What you think, Kraft, man?
I mean, he said he wanted to, if he wasn't going to be the bell cow for somebody, he wants to go somewhere to be that. But me, truthfully, I just don't see him being the number one for a team. I mean, he's fine, but he had a good year with Dallas, and then he had a good stretch with the Panthers, but kind of fell off at the end when Chuba come back. So I don't know if there's a landing spot directly for him where he's going to have a lot of fantasy value. But as for now, you just probably got to hold him and see where he goes. And then if he ends up going somewhere that's halfway decent, then I would probably try to come off of him at that point. I don't know if I'd ride it out. If I got some good news for Rico, then I would probably try to go ahead and ship him off on that good news.
Yeah.
You can't really do much with him right now. He's kind of up in the air.
Last year, really, you were probably stuck in that. People were probably stuck with Rico Dowdle as far as like, this dude's going off. This is my last chance to sell him type deal. But he's also winning me fantasy football matchups. He's scoring me a lot of points.
And you would have been better off trading him then after his first, 3 or 4 stretch where he was just going off. You would have been better off trading him at that point and getting something for him. You probably could have got I don't know if you could have got a late first from a competitor or something, but he was putting up like 35 points a week for like 3 or 4 weeks. So,
yeah,
you could have got something for Rico at that point. But he's kind of just been that guy that pops up every now and again and has good games, but hasn't really put a whole season together.
Yeah.
Even with Dallas, it was like the last, 6 or 7 weeks. And we see this from guys all the time, and they usually don't really pan out. It's like kind of Kenneth Gainwell. He's another one we can talk about that's a free agent. We don't have a banner for him, but he's 27 years old. He's a free agent. He could go somewhere. He looked like he was the best offensive player for the Steelers. Yeah. I actually do you see Kenneth Gainwell or Rico Dowdle being having a better opportunity to be the number one running back for a team next year?
Probably Kenneth Gainwell. But I mean, Kenneth Gainwell, I just saw more Kenneth Gainwell. He was good all year last year and was the best. I mean, he was better than Jaylen Warren and clearly better than my guy, Caleb Johnson. So
I feel like Gainwell's been good like throughout his career. He's just kind of been behind Swift and Saquon and some other guys in Philly until he went over to Pittsburgh.
I mean, somebody's definitely going to give him a little bit of money to come be their running back this year, I would definitely rather take Gainwell over who we talking
Rico.
about, Rico Dowdle. So yeah, I mean, don't you think somebody will probably bring Kenneth Gainwell in? I mean,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, they really have no reason to hold on to him, you know.
Yeah.
So
You want to talk about some big names?
yeah,
All right. So got these veteran running backs. So these are guys 27 or older. Yeah. Just stop me if you want to talk about somebody that you think might be a good trade away at this point. So you got Saquon, 28 years old, Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, 29 years old. We talked about Kamara, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, Travis Etienne's 27, surprisingly.
yeah.
Same age as Josh Jacobs. Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson. Those are all the veteran running backs that are fantasy relevant that actually did
All right.
something for your team this year.
Well, I'll start off uh, by saying CMC. I think we'll be done with CMC. You know what I'm saying? Just had a good year. Anyways, like he had a good year. No disrespect to CMC, but I think now this will be the time when I would be trying to get off of CMC. He'll probably have another good. He might be solid next year though. Had a big workload. ETN is a little interesting to me because right now this dude's he's a free agent right now, Craftman. He's
Yeah.
not under contract as of today, so you know I just think if you're an ETN owner, you just want him to stay. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think you want him to stay with the Jags, but I mean, is somebody going to throw a bunch of money at ETN? They could. And if I was the Jags and somebody did throw a lot of money at ETN, I'd let him go, and I'd try Tootin out there next year. So ETN's a little interesting just with his situation right now, and he can't really buy low because he finished in the top 10 this past year.
Yeah.
So you just
And I think
really
he's definitely good enough to be the one again. I mean, and I do think he probably ends up back with Jacksonville, I would imagine.
that's what I believe.
But we'll kind of see how that goes. But a couple names like we mentioned, like Josh Jacobs. Would you come off of Jacobs to get? Because in dynasty, you're going to have to give up some production to get younger. That's just the bottom line. You're not going to get the same kind of production and get 3 years, 4 years younger. But if you're looking to come off of Jacobs, would you? Some guys kind of in that range. R.J. Harvey for Josh Jacobs, Woody Marks.
No way I could trade. I would just. What was Josh Jacobs' situation? He's still got a couple more years.
What about like Judkins coming off that injury?
Hey, I might would do that if you could get Judkins in a little more. It might be time. I might would come off of Josh Jacobs for that kind of production right there. I mean, he'll be good next year. Judkins, if you can snag a little second on there. You know, here's one thing that I want to bring up, Craftman, about these running backs real quick is like when it comes to this rookie draft coming up, there's really only one like beast of a running back. So it's like if you have questions about your running back surviving the draft and you want to get off of them before the draft, I would say this year is like a year they're going to survive the draft. You know what I mean? Like, obviously somebody will survive, but I would take my chances. Like, if you feel like you want to hold your running back through this, you know, like we were talking about Woody Marks. Like, I would say chances are Woody Marks survives this draft coming up. Like, why would Houston go draft a running back? There's really not too many good ones. They got O-line problems like crazy. So I don't know. That's just one thing I'm kind of thinking about with these running backs, with these vets and young guys and stuff like that. But
it might be more of a competition that gets brought in through the NFL draft more than Jeremiah Love. He's probably coming into a starting job right away. But like you said, some of the other ones, there's not. I mean, like that draft we had with Blake Corum and Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks and stuff like. These guys got drafted pretty early in the NFL draft because of the lack of running back depth. But when you look back at it now, none of them are really starting and doing anything. They're all just complementary pieces to their team. And that was a bad year for running backs. And everybody said that, and it ended up turning out being like that. So,
yeah.
It might be the same this year. And looking at the teams, like looking at the running backs that I have this year, there's not a whole lot that I can see that could just get completely replaced. I mean, the Saints maybe Kamara, somebody could go there, maybe get a job. The Jags, if they get ETN's gone or something like that. The Chiefs need a running back. Maybe the Titans with Tony Pollard or something like that. But, I'm not seeing a whole lot of landing spots where a rookie's just going to like usurp the starter right away. And, the Giants, they're not – I don't think the Giants with Scatterboo coming back, Tyrone Tracy, they should be fine at that position. The Bengals with Chase Brown, I think he's solidified for another year.
Yeah.
Just not seeing a lot of spots, man.
Nope. I'm with you. So, I don't know. I feel like this is the year to hold a lot of your running back guys and just, hope everything pans out in 26. Because I feel like they're going to survive the draft. And Jeremiah Love should end up somewhere. Like, I mean, it's possible he could go 9 overall to the Chiefs. I'm not saying they would do that. I feel like the Chiefs are a little buttoned up, but they could do it,
Yeah, and there's not a lot of trades. There's not a lot of trades unless you go cross position, like running back for receiver or running back for tight end. But like the ones we mentioned, like maybe RJ Harvey is a buy that you could get a younger running back. But the young guys, I mean, they're the studs, and you're not getting them like Bijan, Travion, Gibbs, Hampton, Bucky. Those are all the guys. Yeah. Genty, you're not getting them.
The only one that I asked about before the episode was Genty. Could you swing a Genty, something with him? But I agree. Everybody's like 2 first plus in that range right there. Like you can't get them.
Yeah, running back straight up for Genty as far as like vets go, or somebody in that range would probably be like a Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it'd have to be somebody that just you expect 2 or 3 more great years. So I think he's probably the only one for one, and I don't even think that gets done, would be JT for Genty straight up. It'd have to be some pieces you probably put together, a player and a first or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you want to move on? We got a few veteran wide receivers that we got. It was easy to come up with running back names, but some of these wide receiver names, I felt like we didn't have as many. Because what were you saying, Craftman? Me and you were talking about everybody in the top 12.
Yeah, as far as running backs go, everybody in the top 12, it was a mixture of age groups. So, you had your McCaffreys and you had your Bijan and Devon Achane. You had your Henry in there. So it was a mix. But receiver-wise, well, I'll go ahead and name the players, and they're all young from the top 12 except for one. Puka, JSN, Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase, Pickens, Olave, Zay Flowers, Nico, and then Devontae Adams was your first veteran, older receiver that finished as a wide receiver 9 until A.J. Brown. He was at number 11. But receivers are going to be hard to get unless you go cross position also. You're going to, if you want your running back like Genty, you're going to have to come off of like CeeDee Lamb or something. That's probably the most likely scenario that you're going to actually get the running back at a young age. And same thing with the receiver at a young age, because all these guys are producing. They're all young. They're all like 24 years old to 27. Isn't that what they usually say is like the prime time for? And it shows right here on the on the standings, like 23 to 27 years old. That's like prime time for receivers. And if you want them, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay up.
Premium prices. Yeah, I agree. So we bring that up. That was some good information because we bring that up because these guys right here are a little older. Mike Evans. I wanted to bring up Mike Evans because me personally, Craftman, I think I would buy low because I think you can get him cheap. Like the first year he doesn't get 1,000. He's banged up. This draft class is weak. I think you could get him for like a mid to late second for real, or couple seconds. I mean, who could possibly be high on Mike Evans, in my opinion? My thing is like, if I could add Mike Evans as like a depth piece, my 4th wide receiver, my 5th wide receiver, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely doing it because, dude, I think Baker Mayfield really needed Mike Evans last year. And I think if Mike Evans is even somewhat, unless he just completely falls off, which he could. I mean, he's one of those big, contested ball wide receivers. Like eventually, it's just not gonna work. I think Mike Evans will be straight. You know what I'm saying? I think next year he'll be okay.
Maybe.
And if he can, if I can plug him in for some weeks, help me get through in a long dynasty fantasy football season, I think Mike Evans is perfect for that because I think he'll get 1,000 yards again. Even though that whole Tampa Bay wide receiving room is starting to get young and it's starting to look good, you know what I'm saying? Mike Evans is still there. Like Godwin, I don't really believe any of that for Godwin, but Mike Evans, I believe it.
See, this is where I differ in dynasty a little bit because I always pretty much try to compete, but you can't always try to compete because your players are gonna crap out on your team. If you just have a bunch of old players, you're gonna run out eventually. Like the trade we made last year, I mean, it didn't really work out for neither one of us with DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed. I mean, somebody like that, I would try to come off of Evans. And maybe I know you got to pay more during the season around the trade deadline for a veteran, but at that point in the season when you're competing next year, it's just worth going for it at that point. But I wouldn't sell Evans now because his value is nil. Yeah. He has none. But if he says he's coming back with the Bucks and he's going to play, I would for sure try to trade him as soon as week 1 comes around because I don't think he's going to be good enough for fantasy to win you your league or even be a massive part of winning. And I could be wrong, but I would try to do the same thing with Evans like I did with Metcalf. I would try to go down to, looking at some names like even Jaden Reed. Don't really like him that much, but that's probably what you're going to get. Quentin Johnston will be in that range that you can maybe get for him. Some guys like that. Christian Watson to get a couple years younger. I don't know. I feel like that's probably what you're going to get for a guy like Evans right now. And I would probably do it.
I'd probably take Christian Watson, even though he's been banged up. But you see what the Packers want to do with him, so it's like I think I'd take a shot on Watson if I was competing too.
Maybe like Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, somebody maybe around that range.
Yeah, I mean I'm with you. I mean really my argument was Mike Evans just. It's kind of like how we did that DK. Like DK was my 4th receiver. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I really needed him. But I felt like for him as my 4th and 5th guy, because I had Waddle for some of the year too, and so I was kind of moving him in and out. I felt like he was an okay piece for that role. You know what I'm saying? If I could get Mike Evans in that role, he's my 4th receiver, my 5th guy. I'm pretty much for it. But I understand what you're saying too, because I do agree with what you're saying. Like I would definitely love to get rid of Metcalf right now, but I already know I can't get rid of his ass. Evans too, he's always been kind of hard to trade. So.
Yeah, he's hard to trade, and like I said, I definitely wouldn't do it right now. Like if he decides like, hey, I'm retiring, I'm not coming back this year, then whatever, you just don't have that player anymore. But you're not going to have you're not going to get much for him right now anyway. So you just have to hold and wait till the start of the season. Even maybe, hopefully, best case scenario, he has a couple good weeks to start off the year, and then you can do it.
Yeah. All right, let's slide to this thing right here because we'll be quick on this one. I wanted to bring him up. Tyreek Hill, just done.
Neil, and like I think we said before the episode, maybe like a very late second, early third round pick. I think that's the only thing that I'm willing to trade for Tyreek.
It does feel like Tyreek Hill is done. I'm just being honest. It doesn't really feel like that way with a lot of these guys, but for some reason Tyreek Hill, I guess because of bad injury last year. And, him being with the Dolphins, could somebody trade for him? Could a competitor trade for him or something? And that's like your best luck, your best hope right there is somebody who's a competitor that says, hey, I'm going to take Tyreek Hill on. We bring him on. Maybe it is worth a look. I like a late second, but the stars have to align,
Yeah, don't hear what I'm not saying. I would actually you're not trading away Tyreek Hill, but I would trade for him with the late second or third. I wouldn't trade him away if I had him because there's nothing. I would rather have Tyreek than the late second rather than the opposite way.
Yeah.
So I would try to acquire him for very, very cheap.
I'm with you, and because I mean I don't know, it just don't feel like it's gonna be good for Tyreek Hill. I mean he was already not really playing that good, and people were thinking he was hurt or something anyway. So, but me and you are pretty much out on him. He's one of those super high upside guys for you trade a third round and get him or something like that. But I don't know. We're pretty much out on him. But Devontae Adams, I mean, I've been really pretty much looking at Devontae Adams and Stafford and all these guys on a 1-year basis. Personally, I haven't really heard no news, but personally,
I think they said he's coming back.
Yeah,
both
like
of them.
I would think they would come back. I do think if they would have won, I think Stafford would have been gone. He would have rode off in the sunset. I don't know. I don't think they would have ran it back. You think so?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I ain't hear nothing, but I did see you start looking.
No, I was talking, and I guess Siri thought I was talking to her, and it was in my headphones. It was like I don't understand what that means. It was just like talking to me. It was loud as hell too. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I was missing out what you said.
Sometimes my things be making noises, but then I just started realizing y'all ain't hearing it. You know what I'm saying?
But you made a face like what was going on. So I was like, oh man, I hope that didn't come through.
Nah, I was just saying Devontae Adams. I've been saying year by year basis, and I was saying if they won the Super Bowl, I think they would have rode off in the sunset. Maybe not Adams. I don't know. He kind of feels like a lifer. He might just play years and years, But Stafford, I for real think he might would be gone if he would have won the Super Bowl. But now since they went out like they did, I definitely think they're running it back, going one more shot. So
Adams has said he's playing as long as Stafford plays. So they'll both be back next year. If Stafford's not back, then Adams probably won't be back. I don't think Adams ain't going to play with just any quarterback. I think he'll be done if Stafford is done. But I think they're both coming back unless some kind of back injury comes along for Stafford. He can't play through it. Something like that happens. If it ain't a health issue, I think they're both back. They're going to try to win it again. They're probably going to be just fine next year, too, with that offense.
I think the thing with Devontae Adams is if you're trying to trade for him, you have to go to that owner and just be like, this is his last year. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to cost you a late first, though. But a 26 late first, man, that's nothing if you can get Devontae Adams another top 12 season. You know what I'm saying? Even a top 18 season. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you'd pay a late first for him?
Man, a 26 late first. If I was straight up going for it, I mean, nobody with a late first is going to give you production like top 20 production. Not in this next draft.
Let me read you off his stats, though, because if you believe the touchdowns are still coming, then it makes sense. But 70 receptions for 789 yards. On the surface, that don't look good at all. But 14 touchdowns will boost up your fantasy points a lot. So if you think the touchdowns are still coming his way, but the production for sure dropped off. And I think coming into next year, it's going to be more of the same where it's going to be Puka. And Adams is probably one of the better wide receiver twos on any team, even with 800 yards or whatever. But I just don't.
I mean, they're throwing Devontae Adams. They're on the 1 yard line throwing Devontae Adams in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? So to me, if the touchdowns ain't coming, it's just because he dropped off. It ain't gonna be because he ain't getting opportunities. Like, I mean, they're
couldn't you see it?
To him,
couldn't you see it swaying a little bit more towards the running back room though? Like Kyron had 10 rushing touchdowns, and I want to say the previous year he was at let me see if I can find it. Previous year he scored 12 and 14. And he scored 12 last – well, let me see. Never mind. Scored 14 last year. Scored 10 this year. Blake Corum's getting involved. I don't know. I don't see 14 touchdowns. Maybe 9. You give him 9 touchdowns instead of 14, you're talking – he's probably down there in the 20s in fantasy points.
All right. So if you're straight up going for it, would you get up a late first and he finished in the 20s? I feel like that's a good deal still.
I don't think I'd give
If
up a
you're
late
going
first.
for it, you have to be all out going for it for this argument to even hold value. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there's no other reason to do a trade like that.
I mean, I would try to come off. I'd try to come off a guy that's younger, that has some production. That doesn't really help your fantasy team. Like you're almost trying to screw over the other guy. But like Jordan Addison or somebody, Jordan Addison has pretty much. He's a good player, but he does nothing for you year in and year out. Yeah. Devontae Smith, he does nothing for you year in and year out. He's a good name. Yeah, but in his fantasy production don't really equal the player that he is on the field with that offense. So, would you do Devontae Smith for Devontae Adams? Probably not.
I mean, if you're telling me obviously, if I want to win a championship next year, I would take the Adams side.
Travis Hunter.
Tough. Travis Hunter
for Devontae Adams.
I don't know.
That's close, man.
I don't know. It's just tough, man.
That ain't close.
It is, and I really just don't know what to think about Travis Hunter. So it's like it makes it even worse. Makes it even harder.
Would you sell Travis Hunter?
He's still got a lot of price. Yeah. Oh yeah. If somebody came up to me today and I just drafted him, somebody was like, "I'll give you a first plus, yada yada." Somebody this and a first, I'd probably do it. I don't really know if I believe it like some people do.
I'm going to try to get the price on Hunter. Travis Hunter or Jalen Waddle?
I'd keep Hunter.
Travis Hunter or, let me see. Can't get T. Higgins.
Oh, that's Travis Hunter easy.
Really?
Higgins is too unreliable, man.
Zay Flowers?
I'm just being real. Travis Hunter, I'll take him over a lot.
I would take Zay over that.
I was considering Zay Flowers. They sell high today when I was just kind of looking at him. Wide receiver 7. But, I mean, Zay Flowers is good, so
he's kind of the opposite of Adams. He had 1,200 yards this year, 86 receptions, only 5 touchdowns. He's probably not ever going to be that touchdown guy, but,
Yeah.
1,200 yards, that's a good season.
Yeah, I agree. So,
more than Nico Collins.
Now, we really got one more name right here, and that's A.J. Brown. And I think A.J. Brown just has to be discussed just because, man, his first, I can't remember how many games, but I'll just divide it first half of the season. Dude, this dude was awful, you know what I'm saying? And then he was great in the back half of the year. But the Eagles were better. They won more games when A.J. Brown wasn't catching the ball like he was in that back half of the year. So I just think, because I saw some trades go down with him last year, I think A.J. Brown is one of those interesting players to talk about because you can't exactly buy low on him. And, halfway through the year you could have, but it would have been so nasty. That's how bad A.J. Brown was. It would have felt so bad. Yeah. So it's what do you think about A.J. Brown, Kraft, man?
Well, I won't give you his contract situation, because I know he wants out. He wants out of Philly, but the only way he's getting out is if he gets traded. He's owed $23 million, so the next team would have to take on that contract. I don't know if there's a team that's willing to pay him $23 million for 1 year. Well, they have to take on his whole contract, so they'd have to pay him $23 million and then $22 million after that. But his dead cap this year is $72 million. He's not getting cut, and he's not a free agent until he's 33 years old in 2030. So he's stuck with Philly unless a team does. I mean, like the Steelers did with Metcalf. I mean, they'd have to trade for him and keep the money to pay him. Yeah. So,
I mean, it would have to be somebody like the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Take on the contract. But hey, Josh Allen, A.J. Brown
sounds good.
Crazy. I mean, who else? I mean, who would take on? Other than that, other than a competing team, would be a shitty organization that does stupid shit. Like the Jets.
The Browns.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Browns. That's something that those organizations would do. So which doesn't do any good for A.J. Brown. I'm with you. I think you just got to hold A.J. Brown. He's just going to be with the Eagles, and you're just going to have to see how it plays out next year. That's all you can really do. Because, I mean, what
Maybe
are you
the
selling?
Bucks. What about the Bucks?
Hey, the Bucks, that'd be crazy, bro.
They
I feel like him and
they
Baker.
might could do something like that. They might could do something like that. But you
Yeah.
can't predict it. We just might as well say he's on
Yeah.
the Eagles because it's pretty much 90% chance he's probably coming back.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably higher than that, really. It might be 100% chance he's coming back. I don't know about it. What's that guy's the dang, I can't think of his name, but the owner up there, like, you paying this guy this much? You're trying to win Super Bowls year after year. You got Jalen Hurts, and you got all these good players around you and stuff. It's like, man, I ain't trading A.J. Brown. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, you know?
He can just sit over there and bitch all year again
Yeah.
if he has to.
I mean, he's making 22 mil. What'd you say, Craftman? 22 mil or something like that? Like,
Yeah,
bitch all you want, big dog. I'm sure
you
Jalen
signed the
Hurts gets
contract.
I mean, that does. I just don't really know. I'm not in like the locker room or nothing, but that stuff to me, like, these football players. Personally, I would rather win football games than catch a bunch of balls. But I do know that a lot of these guys probably don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? So
They're used to being the superstar on their team all the way through
right.
pretty much youth football. So, you go out there and you run a whole bunch of routes and you're open half the time and you're not getting the ball. I could understand how it get frustrating, but I got a couple names for A.J. Brown. Lad McConkey.
You know, all those, like, these guys that you're going to bring up, I would do a trade, A.J. Brown, Lad McConkey, but I would definitely try to swing a little something on top if I could. But, not a bad
Emeka
trade. I
Egbuka.
mean, yeah, that's a tough one right there because Ibuka started off so hot, and then he just fell
I
off.
would hold on to Egbuka.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Young stud, you know.
No, I got another guy that's not necessarily a veteran, but his stock is kind of way. I mean, it's up in the air because every time he plays, he's a freaking beast. But he hadn't played that much. What do you think about Rashee Rice in Dynasty?
You know, I think Rashee Rice has to be kind of in that buy low territory. The thing is he's so good when he plays. Like, I had him in redraft, and it was like, dang, this dude is a beast. But man, he don't even play that much. Like, he missed the first games because of suspension, and I think he got a little banged up again a little later on in the year. In fact, I know he got banged up. He definitely didn't finish the year. So,
but it was a concussion, so it wasn't. He said he got put on IR with a concussion back in whatever year. I mean, whatever week that was. He didn't finish the year, but he is in trouble with the. This thing says Rashee Rice to be reviewed under league's conduct policy. So I think he did something else. I can't remember what he did. He got in trouble again, though. Got in trouble. It's a different allegation.
You just got to get Rashee Rice at that price. You know what I'm saying? I love to plug him in my lineup when he's available.
He's great every time he plays.
Yeah.
He's like a wide receiver one every single time he plays. I wonder if he's attainable for the right price.
I'm with you, Crab Man. And I feel like maybe dynasty wise, Rashee Rice is better than like taking a risk on him in redraft. You know, redraft you could be done that year if he doesn't do anything for you. But at least in dynasty, it's like, well, what if he does get it together? Like, what if he does play a full season 2 years from now with Patrick Mahomes and you know. Because it sounds like this, from what you just read, he might miss a couple games this next year again.
Maybe.
So I don't know.
Maybe so.
He's so good though, Crab Man, when he plays. So
I do want looking at these names. We'll save it for another episode though. But looking at them, there's a couple of younger guys that would be pretty interesting to talk about as far as what we believe about them with quarterback changes and stuff like Puka with Stafford. What's that future look like when Stafford's gone? Is it time to, cash in on Puka? Some players, kind of like that. That's going to be interesting to talk about too.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to bring up that'll be one of our next ones, Craft Man. Let's talk about that. I agree.
Yeah.
So All right, well, shoot, man. I think we about wrapped it on up for tonight, then, Craft Man. You got any more names or anything you want to toss out?
Nah, I think we covered them all. I mean, there's still a lot of names out there, but these are kind of the ones that maybe you should come off of like right
Yeah.
away or before the season starts or maybe first couple weeks of the season. But most of the players in Dynasty you're just holding on to for right
Yeah.
now, waiting on
Yeah.
some news, waiting on free agency to hit and the draft. See what teams are getting stronger at some position groups and stuff, and kind of figure it out from there.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. I think that is going to wrap it on up. And if you got this far in the episode, go in those YouTube comments. If there's some names that me and Craftman missed, or there's something you disagree with, well, just let us know. I want to know. Craftman wants to know too. So check us out on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you can listen to a podcast. We are there. Going to be a good off season for us. We've already started pumping it out. But Craftman, you want to add anything?
No, man, I think we covered it for this one, but I appreciate everybody for listening, and we'll be like Matt said, we're gonna be pumping out the content this off season. It's gonna be our best off season yet. We're gonna talk about everything. No stone unturned.
Hey, from Dynasty to best ball, man. We getting it all in, Craft, man. So
I'm ready too.
Hey, I am too, man. So thank y'all for listening to the podcast. But with that said, we are out.
Peace.